Number 108 from Imprint is The Out of Towners, a movie starring Jack Lemmon and Sandy Dennis. This Neil Simon story is just a typical 24 hours in the life, almost one day. I love stories that take place over one day, particularly when they involve actors of the calibre of what we get here. George and Gwen Kellerman are on their way to New York. George is going for a big job opportunity that's going to offer him a lavish lifestyle, more money than he could ever want in the busy New York city. But it just slowly turns into a nightmare. And as we watch everything that could possibly go wrong with this couple, it just makes us more endearing a couple to watch, as we get to see some things come out of the woodwork that you weren't quite expecting. You know, although things are going completely wrong, they can still relate it to their life and identify with what they have rather than what they were going to get.
I want anything you want, George.
Well, then say I did the right thing, huh? Say that we'll be happier in New York than we've ever been in our whole lives.
But Jack Lemmon and Sandy Dennis are wonderful together. I think Jack Lemmon is hilarious as this man who loves to give these passive-aggressive threats of lawyers to come, who can't deal with any situation pragmatically. He always has to attack head-on, be headstrong, and ultimately lose every situation that they have.
Would you please put your full name and Mr. Brits' name down on a piece of paper? I'll need it for the trial. This is my wife, Mrs. Kellerman. She's a witness to everything that went on here.
He's a man who wants to have this great day away with his wife, wants to stay in a hotel, go out for a meal, he's got everything sorted, go for this interview, get the dream job and live a fantastic life. But throughout this night, he's going to realise that the only thing he needs in his life is his wife. They just need each other, they're happy with each other's company, and they don't need the trappings of the big city, which at every turn horrifies this couple.
I knew it. I could see it coming. I went right with him.
You got a wallet?
No wallet. Just the cash. I never carry a wallet.
Give him your wallet, George. It's in his left pocket.
It's hilarious in the manner that it takes its turns as we see these out-of-towners trying to deal with the big city, as they fall into all these scams and traps and mistrust people because that's just who they are. And even though their situation keeps getting worse and worse, it just makes you more in love with this couple as they just try to survive, even to the point where you're just head in your hands, shaking, going, please don't do this, it's never going to work out, no, don't. And it ultimately becomes absolutely hilarious. But I think the heart of this one is most definitely the relationship between George and Gwen.
You mean you're giving up after you told me not to give up?
Oh, you have to make your own decisions now, George. I chose giving up.
You see the dynamics of the relationship kind of shift throughout the movie, which I really enjoyed, because it is a kind of comedic set-piece movie where they go from one element to the next, sort of blockade stopping them from living the ideal scenario that George has planned out. And at the start you see Gwen more just yes, whatever, just agreeing with her husband, happy to go along. But as the movie goes on, she slowly starts to put her foot down, explain that things could be handled differently, letting her voice ring true with George, and he ultimately realises at the end some truths that are really kind of heartwarming and just for these characters. I thought The Out of Towners was hilarious. I loved the set pieces. I loved the rain-soaked, garbage-filled streets of New York, where they encounter all kinds of horrible people that just make their trip to the big city one of the most engaging, hilarious and downright terrifying events. I fear crowds of people and the outside world, and this just is my worst idea of any kind of situation, and just reaffirmed every kind of irrational fear that I have. The Out of Towners is stunningly well acted. It is written exceptionally well. It is directed particularly well, with a host of familiar faces and scene-stealing cameos throughout the film. strongly suggest picking up The Out of Towners. This was a first time watch for me, and I loved it. I thought it was just fantastic. Of course, I want to know your opinion, so let me know in the comment box below your thoughts on The Out of Towners. I'll see you next time on Man v Film.